Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom what the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I am Kimberly with Unseen Twisted Truth. We have Henry.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
We have Jewsby and DDH.
Hi, Jusby and DDH's floating face.
Peace and love. Peace and love. How everybody doing?
All is well, my guy. All is well.
Beautiful.
You know,
I feel
I had the flu for a few days, and today's the first day that I feel okay. I'm still tired from but like I'm good though. I'm really good. And Henry, now go ahead, tell how you are.
oh man, I'm whatever a galaxy or feels like when it's being swallowed by a black hole frantic. I don't know. It's been one of those days. But luckily I have the Unseen Twisted Truth podcast to fall back on. Today was the first day I'm just like, you know what? Thank goodness you have the podcast. And here I am.
Yeah. So tonight's show is going to be a little bit of a heavy one. I love it though. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling like I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with everything from doing the radio thing, the podcast, trying to get people to support themselves, just life in general. Nothing going the way that I perceived it would or I anticipated it would. And then being in a situation again where I feel like I'm depending on someone again. Just a lot of things. I just feel overwhelmed. And enough's enough. And I feel like I'm at the point where I'm just going to snap. Like Henry and I were talking earlier, and that's how we came up with the subject because we both have been feeling it. I don't know who else has. But Henry said, when you bend plastic and it gets that white piece before it breaks, that's where we feel like we're at. And I know if I'm feeling it, Henry's feeling it. Jewsby, have you been feeling overwhelmed lately?
Not so much so overwhelmed. I would say a little bit more anxious for, things to come. But all in all, I've been able to, manage most things pretty well.
Me too. I just been at a point where I'm just like, I really want to say fuck it so bad, but I haven't because I'm not that type. It's not in me. It's not of me. I won't allow that for myself. But I swear, it's almost like the addiction where I'm tempted to just grab that and do it one more time, just because it's so. I'm just so like. I'm ready for change. I'm ready for the next level. That's what it is. And that's exactly what it is. And I'm glad you said that, Jusby, because that's exactly what it is. Henry, what is it for
I
you?
agree with Jusby on that one too. I was going to say, listeners, who's feeling not overwhelmed?
Facts.
Let's see some not overwhelmed people or some overwhelmed people. That's what I want to know.
But I like it. It's not, and Jusby hit the nail on the head, honestly, not just because you said it, because that was so it. It's not that I'm overwhelmed. It's the fact of that I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for the change because we're all evolving and I'm just ready for that. I'm anticipating almost anxiously, borderline anxiety-ish, ready for the
Yeah.
next level.
So
And
what is everybody doing to cope? Sorry. What are you doing
no,
to cope?
that's one of the things, though. That's one of the things when you're ready for something, it makes you feel like you are overwhelmed. It makes you
Yeah.
feel like you may snap because you're just ready. You're ready for whatever's to come, and you're ready. You're just ready for war, or whatever's not even war. You're ready for the level and up opportunities. And when you get to those points of those leveling up opportunities, Henry asked, what do you guys do to cope? Now, when I searched overwhelmed, they gave you a bunch of steps. And I know
Give me a bit.
personally that and Henry, we don't do steps, levels. They give you a bunch of levels. And I know I personally do not breathe properly. I don't know who breathes properly, but I know I don't. I bought a little whistle thingy that you blow into and stuff like that just to help me breathe properly. And I think that's a key. I think a lot of people have to learn how to breathe properly. And see, Stephen feels the same way. Just anxious and ready for the next step.
Yeah.
Henry, I'm gonna let you go across and let you explain what you do when you feel overwhelmed or anxious, ready for the next step. And then I'm gonna tell you what they suggest, and then I'll let you know what I do. Or I'll let you know what I do, and I'll tell you what they suggest. Go ahead, Henry. You first.
What do I do? Well, that's subjective. My target goal is to drink plenty of water and to stretch, stay limber, make sure I'm getting fresh air, uh, exercising and walking, regularly. And in reality, I didn't feel like doing the dishes. The sink was full, and I had so many things coming at me. And what I did to cope was I opened up a prepackaged cup from the last hotel I stayed at. It was wrapped in plastic, and now I have a coffee cup, and I didn't have to wash dishes to do it. So I guess that would be minimizing some of the tasks. You're not trying to tackle everything and just kind of roll with the punches, which kind of sums up a lot of what I do.
Okay. Jewsby, what do you do when you get to those moments where you get anxious or ready for the next level and up?
Um, Normally I would, I would try to take a break, like if I'm overwhelmed or if I'm feeling consumed with something for too much of my time. I'll definitely try and take a break. As far as me being overwhelmed, when I'm anxious, I tend to overthink and overanalyze, future situations that might be, one of my pet peeves about myself that I wish I could change. But
Yeah,
in a
that's
sense, it's still helpful to pre-plan these things and try to prepare yourself and see yourself in the moment, so you aren't caught off guard when things start to pan out for you. But usually just take a break and collect my thoughts and smoke and just try to dial back on the intensity a little.
Okay.
for sure.
So what I end up doing is I give myself a timeout. I really honestly do. I couldn't tell for the longest time the difference between anxious and anxiety were to the form of having a panic attack, the starting of one, before it got to the extremes. I was able to eventually figure out within myself to know myself enough to know before it even gets to one. So I know when one's about to happen. I haven't got to the point yet to being able to stop it before it happens, but as soon as it happens, I can stop it I can stop it as it happened. So I'm slowly getting to the point where I am able to control it before it even happens. And that right there is took a long time to do, because I remember to the point where when I first had them, I didn't know what they were. I really thought I was having a heart attack. I didn't know what anxiety or panic attack was. I really thought that I was gone. I was going home. I was gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? I was out checking out, and then it got to the point where, um, I would pass out almost. It was extreme. It was extreme. I would hyperventilate and everything. And then I learned self-control. And I learned to be able to own my mind and my emotions. And when it happened, I was like, okay, I will talk to myself out loud and I will tell myself, breathe. You got this. It's okay. You can stop it. It's just your mind. You're stronger than it. And then eventually I was able to do that, you know? And eventually I was able to stop myself during them. Now I could feel it coming on and I know it's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, I feel a panic attack. I need to breathe, walk away, and I'll be right back. And I take myself out because I know it's happening. I can't stop it yet from happening. But that's the next step. That's the next step. Once you get to the point where you're able to control it, you know what's happening, there's no reason you can't stop it from happening. It's not easy. But once you figure out what it is that causes it, call the root of it all, you remove the trigger that, starts it. So I had to, when I feel overwhelmed, I take myself outside myself and analyze what the root problem is. I have such inner peace. A lot of things don't get me outside myself. Hardly ever. And I'm talking slapped in my face and I didn't meet the person in that energy. I've jumped out of a moving vehicle because my peace is important. I have such inner peace now that I'm getting to the point where I have Dharma, where nothing around me affects me. I'm not quite there, but I'm getting there. And that's where my goal is. And I have to remind myself of that all the time when I feel overwhelmed. I stop and I realize it's not the other person's problem. It's mine. They're not doing anything because they don't know that I am dealing with something.
Well, do you think, Kimberly, do you think a lot of the feeling of being overwhelmed comes from internalized thoughts or just situations? Where do you say the most of it comes from? When I feel overwhelmed, it's mostly from internalized thoughts, I would say. I feel rarely overwhelmed by situations.
It can be both, though. If it's something that's out of your control that you didn't anticipate or that you had a perception that wasn't going to happen, it's all about when we do this. And I don't know if you all do, but I know I do. I have an expectation of something, even when I try not to have expectations of anything. And when it doesn't meet what I thought would happen, that right there throws me off because I like planning. I'm so free spirited, not completely planning, not going by the book. I just like having my ducks in a row and knowing that I'm going to do what I'm going to do them just in case anything happens. I don't like to pull my pants down. But sometimes it is fun. So sometimes every now and then I will be caught with my pants down on purpose. So I will just say, fuck it and get in the car and drive just because I want something exciting. And then
that's balance.
I want to plan things in that. So
that's a balance, though, right? Because you want some sporadicness to keep life spicy, but you also need to have some kind of basis for an operation. We are the most chaotic animals there are.
Facts. So to answer your question, it's both. Sometimes both.
Yeah.
Sometimes I overanalyze things because I have this ideal and agenda in my head the way it's supposed to go. And it used to be so bad when I was younger, uncontrolled. When I was uncontrolled. Now that I'm a controlled individual, I can handle it a lot more. When I was uncontrolled, though, if somebody didn't answer the phone, let's say I had this whole idea in my head that I was going to stand there naked and call from a video call, and if you didn't answer, it ruined my whole day because I had this moment in my head pre-planned. And because you had something else going on and you didn't know that I was sporadically going to do that it threw me off.
Well,
and it ruined my whole day.
What is it like? What fear is worse? It's anticipation, and then there's confrontation. And you get anxiety from probably predominantly anticipating things to come, since we probably get thrown into fight or flight response when we end the confrontation. There's not a whole lot of room for anxiety left. So a lot of anxiety probably does just stem from shit that isn't happening, could, or maybe not even going to happen, which I love saying, because you're worrying about shit that's not going to happen. Maybe. That maybe will kill you, right? For some people.
I remember one time, because me being what I am, and as an addict that I am, I remember one time kneeling on my knees with a girl beside me, waiting for the guy that I was dating to get out of the shower, because our whole plan was to give him head when he jumped out the shower. We were on our knees for 15 minutes, and I'm
Ouch.
thinking he was already in the shower for 20. Like, what is going on? So, like, she was not wanting to do it no more. I was getting upset. And then I stopped and I had to realize, just because it didn't end up the way that I thought it should doesn't mean it's not going to end up great. So I had to realize and talk her into it, because she was younger. So I had to talk her into just saying, relax. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because we still would be on our knees that long anyhow. So it doesn't matter. So I'm just sitting there.
This
And
is dumb.
it was the fact of that you can't control everything. The only
No.
thing you can control is yourself and how you handle things.
I mean, if you try to meet if you try to meet some kind of stranger from the internet and you want to fulfill some kind of very specific, like, sexual fantasy or something, is a high failure rate on that. You are not going to get what you expect out of that situation. And a lot of people fuck up doing that kind of thing, expecting something and then being completely dismantled by the outcome of their actions.
A number one reason why marriages fail is because of that. Expectations.
Oh, I was saying which aspect? Yeah.
No, expectations. They have higher expectations of what a marriage should be than realistically marrying for the right reasons.
Yeah. I'm not anti-marriage.
They have this idea of a fairy tale within their head that they feel that everything's going to be rainbows and butterflies, and not realizing that sometimes it's out of your control and you still have to stay controlled. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to stay controlled when a situation is out of control.
Right. Your white picket fence reality might be it might be a future plan or something, or not feasible. You got two people, two brains working together. I've seen some marriages that are fantastic.
So what I had to do was find my root cause. I had to learn about what my triggers were. I had to find out when I feel overwhelmed, I have to start seeing things for what it truly, truly is, and realize, can I control it and change it? And if not, then I won't allow it to control and change me. And that's what I had to do, and take myself and give myself a timeout. But I really literally talk to myself. I will talk to myself. I'll be like, girl, you got this. Calm down. You're I will talk myself affirmations and everything, and let myself know that I am worthy, in that I can't control everything.
I have a clinically insane sounding level of dialogue going on, but with myself when people aren't around. Don't feel bad.
No, I do it all the time. I don't feel bad.
I'll
do it when people are in the next room and they be like, what'd you say? And I'm like, nothing. I'm talking to myself.
No, yes, good. So I have cats. You can throw English at them like crazy, and they'll almost look at you like, yeah, that's a great idea for a script. Or no, meow, meow, meow. That works. It's good to have familiar.
So anyways, I'm going to tell you what they said.
Yes.
Or do you want to say what they said? Do you have it?
Oh. Well, I do. And it's bloop. Wow, a whole bunch of people keep messaging me and pushing it further down. And that's the wrong. You know what? We got two Kimberly Vertigans going on, and it confuses me.
One's a Kimberly L and one's a Kimberly Vertigan.
Yes.
One gets stars, the other one don't. Anybody want to donate stars? Do not donate them to Unseen Twisted Truths. Please donate them to the Kimberly L Vertigan. That's the only one that I can get where they can't steal from me. If you don't got it, Henry, I'll get it.
I have it. So, when feeling overwhelmed, key steps to take include acknowledging your feelings, taking a break, prioritizing tasks, breathing deeply, asking for help, setting boundaries, breaking down large tasks, focusing on what you can control, and limiting distractions. Consider making a to-do list, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities you enjoy to manage stress. That's before detailed stuffs.
And
No,
that's okay. We'll just do the basic, because if they need details, then they can read the description.
I wanted to ask you something about that since
Go
we
ahead.
all sound. Do you think most people know what to do, but it's just hard to either get them to do it or find the time? Because it's
Mm,
pretty straightforward. We hear it a lot.
I think that we know what to do, but in the moment, we don't have the control to do it. I think a lot of people lack self-control. I think that
Right?
their mind owns them more than they own their mind. And I think that their emotions and their ego and their pride get the best of them, and they do not handle emotions properly. My opinion. Jewsby, what do you
Yeah.
think on that same question?
Say it for me one more time. I was distracted.
Do you think that people know what to do and they just don't do it, or they don't find the time to do it?
Uh, it might be a little of both, actually. I think a lot of times people, spend enough times with their problems to know what they have to do. You might, encounter a case where people are just stuck in, the same old way, so they don't want to make the necessary alterations in order to solve the problem, or they want to outsource the problem to other people in order to find the answer. It's really all about the character of the person, honestly. Some people can sit around and they can wallow in their, in their problems, and other people, they'll get out and, they'll efficiently look for ways to solve the problem. So it usually depends on the person, in my opinion.
In my opinion was that I think they just don't know how to. I think that they don't have that capability to control themselves enough to do it at the moment, but they know
That's
they
that's
could.
where that's where like talk therapy and stuff really comes in handy with people because you can get down to the roots of problems. I mean, like detailed steps is recognizing and accepting your feelings. A lot of people do not know how to do that
That's
whatsoever.
that's true. And and I really do think gender has a lot to do with it, because you were raised to believe that a man should not show their feelings and emotions, that when it does come across them, they either try to bottle it up or they don't know how to express it. That's my opinion. That's
Yeah,
just my
and it doesn't express everybody, but we can look at demographics all the time, and
Yeah.
statistics.
Yes. I think that if it was acceptable for everybody to be treated equally and everybody to have the same right to be able to have the same feelings, then it would be different in this world. I think a
It
lot
it
of
is.
people I
It
think a
would
lot of
be.
people don't have that outlet. So that's when the postal thing comes. When you went postal, because there were signs, warning signs before it happened. And people ignore those warning signs, or they just didn't go help because they didn't feel it was their place or that they could. And there is always warning signs of every situation before it happens.
I've seen a lot of it. I've attracted a lot of people, especially in school. I was popular, not popular. Does that make any sense? King of the nerds type of person. And I attracted every freaking weirdo in the neighborhood because I'm a weirdo. My dad builds harpsichords. I don't know why I did, but I did. And I met some of the most traumatized people I ever did in my entire life. I'm not going to bring up name right now, but some of them are gone. Some of them are never coming back. Some of them are doing okay, but it's just there's so many kids, when I was young, and no one pays attention to them. No one talks to them. It seems like everyone's closed off. Like Mr. Rogers wouldn't have any of that shit. He'd be like, "What's going on?"
Facts.
Bothers me.
Um, Jusby, do you believe there's signs that there's a situation could happen before it happens?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely signs that, lead up to future events. They may be subtle. That's why sometimes they could possibly go unnoticed. But it's up to the person to express these things as thoroughly as possible. Um, You know, they might not know how to do it, of course, or you know, they may feel apprehensive about it, but you know, you have to vigorously seek this help if you want people, you know, to really take your problem seriously, because a lot of times, you know, people aren't in serious mode. You know,
Yeah.
they go through life and you know, some people just float. You know, they don't take anything seriously. So you never know how, you know, how dire the need is unless that person is, you know, repeatedly expressing that they need help, or you know, they're seeking the right type of help, and all they need is, you know, an opportunity to, you know, come across these resources. But you know, like I said, you know, sometimes people, they wait too late, or you know, they don't push as hard to, you know, get these type of things out to the public.
I had somebody, and I agree. I had somebody that would constantly call me up. I've had a couple people, now that I think about it, a lot. I've had a lot of people that would constantly call me up because they would think about suicide or unaliving themselves, and they think about just not the action like they were going to do it, just that they're ready to do it, and just stuff like that. And it was just for someone to talk to, just so they didn't sit inside their head and let it eat away at them and it become an action. And I got to a point where at sometimes I could read the people really well. And one person, I told them, if they're going to do it, then do it, because you haven't obviously done it the right way, because you failed every time and you keep talking about it. And I just got tired of it because it was every day they were doing that. And I said, go get help. That after I told them to go get help, they were like, I can't. Well, I don't need help, or I don't have nobody. You do though. There will be somebody that will listen, even if you want me to do it. But I'd rather listen to you talk about your problems than read your obituary. And that's what I was explaining to them. And they just, I don't know. It got to the point when I told them, go ahead, do it, and do it the right way if you're going to do it. They no longer talked about doing it. Not to me. And it was weird. I didn't know. Maybe some people, I've noticed that they like to play the victim, and they like that sympathy that comes with it, that they were using it for that. And when they didn't get that reaction that they were hoping for, they had to try something different.
It's hard to
And,
tell with people.
and then I had somebody come to me who I love dearly. They mean a lot to me. They came to me and said to me, I love you most because you never tried to change my opinion on anything in any way I feel at any situation, even when I talked about unaliving myself. You never made me feel bad about coming to you. And I was able to come to you with everything and anything. I feel so comfortable talking to you because you've never judged me and made me feel bad about coming to you. And that hit me hard because I didn't realize a lot of people have came to people that they felt really bad about, and they were like, I don't want to talk about it no more to you because now I feel bad about it. And they just bottled it in.
I find common courtesy I do sometimes now even is met with kind of distaste, or like, what are you doing? Like, you know, I've even had someone say, "Don't hold the door for me." You know, some dude. It was a while ago, but you know, what if we got schools, and instead of trying to shove algebra down kids' fucking faces 24/7 when they don't want to hear it, and pumping them full of ADHD medication, why don't we get the jocks and the goths together and put them on some team and make them run all day or have some fun or something? What if we just applied learning to actual community and communication, and tried to breed more open and understanding people? Because I never got that in school. And I went to a couple different schools.
You're not expecting that in a corporation, are you?
No, no, of course not. But that's
Then
how
you
you
wouldn't. Then
reduce
you
this
wouldn't.
pecking order
Then
bullshit.
you don't expect that from the United States.
Well, maybe then someone else has got to do it, because I would love to get, you know, a bunch
Yeah.
of young people together in a round table in their school and be like, why don't you talk to that kid over there with the glasses? You guys, I could take a look at a kid and fucking be like, that kid's a no click. whatsoever, right? There's a lot of obvious signs, in my opinion, that kids are being cast aside. No one's talking to them. There's body language you can pay attention to. Their nails, I chew my nails and shred pieces from stress. Like, we could do this.
But the thing is, you wouldn't be doing it here in a corporation. You have to go to a country to do that. And a lot of countries do that. A lot of countries, they don't have that hatred and war and division. They want to keep you divided here because it's a corporation.
I don't disagree with you. I am in lockstep agreement. That being said, that's when you start getting clever and maybe hiding it behind something else.
Yeah.
Like drug and alcohol training.
Or, 80s got that drumline thing that the kids do. All the kids come together and they join band.
Art and music's a damn good way to bring.
Yeah.
There's less art classes the older I got in school. I'm like, where's art and music and shop going and shit?
Jewsby's about to do something with the youth and music. Aren't you, Jewsby?
Yes. Talk about it again, baby. Let's hear it.
Jewsby.
I'm brainstorming and I'm trying to, put together a logical plan as to where I can, show, some of the young aspiring artists how to structure music and, basically how to channel whatever it is that they're going through a lot better than, conforming to whatever it is that society promotes as popular or the norm. And really, teaching them how to, unlock different channels inside of their creative brains in order for them to produce more substantial, more grounded, and more impactful music.
And then, with all that being said, what city are you doing this out of?
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna start here in my hometown, Detroit, and hopefully we can branch things out. But right now I'm just starting small and working within my scale. But I definitely have some good ideas to unfold.
Good, because the universe says that you're going to be doing it. So yeah, that's great.
We love that. That's freaking awesome.
Too. And I didn't know this. I just want to let you know that I just threw that out there because I know what the universe sees for Jewsby. So
for sure. I do a lot less talking when I'm game planning. So when everything's unfold, that's when I'll start opening my mouth, promoting it more.
I feel that, but the universe.
That's why he's a bubble. He's doing shadow work all the time. We ain't gonna slow the roll.
He's working on his car. Remember?
He's in the laundry. Cool Iron Man suit or something. Anything.
Lord of the background.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know what? Another thing that I find that's really good, if you don't go out in nature and take your shoes off and get grounded once in a while, laughter. For no reason, just laugh. I found so much joy and peace being around kids lately, and I'm talking the last 5 years since I went through that situation. I've been surrounding myself around kids because they have discernment still, and pure and genuine intention still, and it's relatable for me because people my age, they don't have that. When you're turning 50, you got your heart is so hardened that you don't no longer have discernment and faith in humanity and love, genuine love for no reason. I was speaking to an artist, and I'm not going to go too much in detail because of it. I don't talk about people like that, but I was speaking to an artist, and I was telling him that I was done with this, interviewing artists and stuff like that, because I'm ready for the next step. And they said, if you're not riding your wave, I spoke on that last time. If you're not riding your wave, then why would I believe in you? Because if you don't support you, why would I? And I was like, that's what I say all the time. So that's not the case for me. I will never stand in my way. You can't take me standing tall as in kneeling. But I had an artist say to me, that everything that they're growing through in life, and the reason why they haven't done what they've done, because they may look like they're a very positive person and walking in a great life when they're actually struggling to keep it all together. And I said to them, all I was doing was waiting for you to ask for help. because I will do so much for free. So much for free for you. And all I'm doing is waiting for you to ask for help. Because I'm tired of offering it to those that don't want the services or feel they don't need it because they're above it.
So you've been putting boundaries up. You've been kind of dialing it back and doing certain things, and you know, that's good.
It's beautiful. And I'm not mad at myself. And if somebody else takes it the wrong way, I wasn't upset when the person come to me and said what they said to me. I love them still. I can't wait to meet them. I'm not mad. At the end of the day, that's your perception, and you perceive that from something I wrote because you were already feeling that. We mirror each other. So if you feel that, you might have to look inside yourself, sweetheart. Because this is a Capricorn. I'm a goat. I don't give up. I don't have it.
Plus, we got to keep this train rolling, and if that means we got to dial it back on certain things, so be it. We'll roll on.
Honestly don't have it in me though to quit.
No.
Even when I want to lay in bed and not move and just not do anything, I still do stuff because I don't have it in me to stop. It's my life. People don't realize that. People tend to forget that other people love themselves too. You're not the only one.
You know, it's funny too. Today was like the most high stress day I think I've had in so long. I've had so many things happen today. There's no point in explaining it. It's just insanity. And right up into the point where it was like 7 o'clock and all the insanity was tapering off. And every day I got shit going on. I am putting makeup on and doing my shit, getting ready for the podcast last minute. Today, with all the chaos, I'm standing here in the room. I'm like, well, guess I'll smoke. Like, why? Why do I thrive in chaos? I don't like it. I'm writing music.
What I love most that you did is that when you felt overwhelmed, you went into the woods and made a fire. And when you cried, you made music. And you were so proud of your moment.
Oh, yeah. I don't give a shit, man. If society really, really starts driving me absolutely nuts, I just drift into nature and just kind of meld into the forest, start building survival shelters and whatnot. And I don't know. It's peaceful. It's literally like what we're talking about, it's how I do it. Where's Henry? I don't know. Probably out in the woods, miles away with a spear set made.
My son was told today that he's probably never going to be able to work again the rest of his life because of the car accident. Yeah.
I didn't know Pedro was doing that roughly.
Now the bulging disc turned into a herniated disc, and every time he goes to work, he makes it worse. They said that his spine and his cervix, or whatever it is men have, the pelvic bone area, whatever that's called on men, but anyhow, shifted so much that it's 4 times more than it should be from the accident.
Like pelvic bone?
Yeah, but what it's called something. The pelvic area is called something. But anyhow.
Pelvis.
Cervix.
I'd have to call it an anatomy chart. That's okay. We're a satire show. But no, that's horrifyingly bad. Anything has to do with the spine is serious.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm replanning.
And they said that any rough things that he does, he can take the chance of being paralyzed for the rest of his life. That's how bad it is. So, with that being said, I told him I'm glad it happened, because now I won't be doing things alone personally. I'm thinking selfishly. I won't be doing things alone, because before that, he's the one that helped me edit in videos. And now that we're going to do publishing and stuff like that, he can do the copyright papers and all that stuff. One of the most intelligent people I know is the one I gave birth to. So if I don't know something, he will be on it before I even have a chance to. So it will be beneficial to help the company to continue flourishing forward motion, to help more people, bring revenue in, and give him an outlook so he doesn't feel useless. Because he's a man's man, and he's the type that if he doesn't work, he feels like he's not providing and helping, and he's not a stay-at-home nothing. He just never has been. He did wrestling and
I
forever.
don't think he's ever going to be. It's just, and that's all a mindset too. You know, that's a rough sentence for anybody. Doesn't matter about the, like you said, gender roles and shit before. Doesn't matter. You said you got a big brain on Pedro, and that's really important.
Yeah. So I'm
Man.
glad though, because I'd rather have him staying at home and healing than going to work to kill himself.
I think I know what you're talking about, but Kimberly, you're not going to hobble me, are you?
No.
We'll
But
go
I'm
on the
just
road.
saying. You know,
I
that
wake up,
shit
you got
looks
the hammer.
better and better every day.
I'm your biggest fan, Henry. I'm your number one fan. Oh sorry, I had to go there.
I'm just saying, if he does write me up, though, I might auction you off.
Okay, whatever. I'm going through absolute hell at this point. I'm just walking.
But no, like, if it comes down to it, I'd rather somebody make their own living doing something they love than killing themselves to make somebody else rich.
Yeah, now's the time to focus on certain things you've always wanted to.
Well, he's got a couple inventions that he invented that he's got people working on right now for him and stuff. So he's got backup. Very intelligent.
Does he have like a lab coat and stuff? We get him a lab coat. We get him a lab coat. Unseen Truth's lab coat. I want one too.
He's a very intelligent Taurus, so it's not that. It's just the fact of that.
Oh, he's a Taurus, right?
Yeah, remember that? So, it's just the fact of that. You know, I don't want him to overly do it to have nothing in the long run, because I've noticed people that really worked hard in those factories and whatnot, and roofing and contractors, all those things, those steel workers and stuff like that, their body's shot, and when it comes to retiring, they're broken. They can't go do things. They can't do anything because they beat themselves up so much mentally and physically to not be better off than they were before. You still have that mortgage. You still have those, debts.
I can link this back to what we were talking about earlier. I promise you I can. So you got all these tradespeople, right? And they're out there killing themselves. Mm-hmm. And you say, well, they're out there killing themselves. But someone in the comment section is going to pop up and go, well, we need more tradesmen. We need less, podcast hosts. I'm just going to say it. I'm a tradesman. So I've been trading my whole life. It kicks your ass. Now, imagine if we made, and the thing I was talking about with the kids earlier, made shop class one of the funnest, bestest things in school, and everybody's having good camaraderie, and we care about each other. We're learning how to build things, and that's fun and shit. Now everyone can't wait to get into the trade money. We got a huge influx of people in the trades. I imagine you could cut down with a huge influx of people. Maybe everybody wouldn't have to work as hard.
Why give somebody an outlet?
Well, I can rewire outlets.
No, but why give them one? Why let them have something else to occupy them time in their mind that they're not out in the streets causing problems? Why give them an outlet? You can't get no money from somebody who has an outlet.
How much? Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. How much money do we actually fucking make on Skid Row, though? Really?
It's about the money when they lock them up, and then this and this and this and this and this and this, because they're selling people's lives. They want people to fuck up so they can sell your life. They're waiting for somebody to fuck up.
Big satire warning.
My opinion. Just Kimberly Vertigan's opinion, not Kimberly L. Vertigan. That's not her opinion. Just Kimberly Vertigan's opinion. The one that can't get no kind of funds from nothing.
And I am Henry G. Civil. Okay?
Civil.
Remember that. Okay, I was gonna say something really crazy. I have to be so careful about the things I say. Y'all don't get me in my truest form. You get a very iceberg version of the things I really want to say, and it'll shut us down. I will shut us down. God darn it.
Jusby, why do you think they shut all the shop classes down? Why do you think that they don't have something to help mental health?
Uh, I mean, this is all designed. So, I mean, we're talking about, government institutions. So, they're gonna feed you whatever they need to feed you in order to constantly need them. So it's like, I can't, like, I remember home economics and shopping and, arts and craft class and things of that nature. So, we're definitely far removed from, having these institutional things inside of the schools in order, to prepare the youth, for, just life in general. They're going to feed us a whole lot of whatever they need to feed you, just to prepare you enough to, graduate and get a job and thrust you into, into that working field that they need everybody in order to continue making profit. So I just think it's systematic. So
Jusby, you said two very important words: home economics. I remember home economics. I got put in that class, and I remember there was a big tirade over men being in home economics. It was a girls' class, but I ended up like cooking and doing all this cool shit and skills I still use today, as opposed to nothing I was learning in the other ones. What happened to home ec? Home ec was lit. I used to love that shit. Oh
sure,
man.
definitely one of my favorite classes. I gained a good aspect of baking,
Yeah.
measuring and following recipes. Like that, a lot of these things started when I was in like junior high school. So
Yeah.
it's been a long while. So
And even if you're one of those boys that were checking out the girls all the time, you always wanted to get into home ecs because
for sure,
that's where all the girls were.
for sure, it's
My
always
life.
a captivating experience.
They didn't know what to do with me at the end of my school career, right? So I had like 4 gym classes, which was dope. I was taking showers and just like having fun in gym. My last one was actually aerobics. I was the only dude in a class full of all my girl, all the girls I went to school with and shit. We were always partying and shit after school anyway, so the class was just ridiculous. But we actually did aerobics, which was nice. I still do aerobics to this day, and I use the training I learned. So yeah, whatever. It was
You
fucking
know,
cool.
as funny as it sounds, the biggest mentally of man, they do yoga, they do stretching, they do aerobics. If you check out anybody in the NFL and ask them what they do to keep their muscles loose and limber, they will tell you they all do aerobics, they all do stretching, they all do yoga.
Aerobic exercise. It's not just who's those guys who hang themselves up on the rings, the hanging rings.
Oh
Those
yeah,
guys shredded like ridiculous. Like
yeah,
that's gymnastics.
yeah.
Everything's relative. Everything's subjective.
He's done yoga. Danny's done yoga, and he actually loves it. I do too. I do too.
Yeah, it's great. I need to do it tonight. I do it usually every day.
So,
We should do a live
Danny,
yoga episode.
Danny, if you're able to text. What do you do as an outlet so you don't snap, so you don't get too overwhelmed? See, the whole thing was release with caution, and the reason why we said release with caution is because back in the day, I used to use this terminology so people could have an understanding of what I would say about shaking up a Coke bottle. And that's what I felt like when the universe is speaking to me. And if I didn't open up the lid, I would explode. So release with caution is find the right measures, find the outlets to be able to release so that you don't explode. So you don't become one of those, gotta watch what you're saying around that one, because he might snap one day.
Yeah, I realized we didn't mention the title the entire time. That's funny.
And that's why I did the title the way it did. is because I wanted people to realize what release with caution meant, but I wanted to get into it first before I said what it meant.
Yeah, you tied that in nicely.
So I think that you should slowly release with caution, because you don't want to overly just say fuck it and give up on everything and just not care and be unmindful of yourself and walking around here aimlessly. And you don't want to keep it all balled up so that you are the guy that says, how dare you hold the door open for me? There was
Oh, yeah.
and I don't remember the song, but there was this song that was going on, and it was basically about, you know, someone yelling outside in New York, yelling at this other guy, and the guy that was taking up the trash, throwing the trash cans instead of putting them back down on the ground, and screaming at the other person, come on, hurry up, don't you see the light's green, get going, and just rush hour and stuff like that. And this other guy come and flipped off this other guy, and the guy was sitting in the car, and the girl looked at him and said, or the it was a cab driver, and the passenger in the back said, you know, you just waved and smiled at him. Why are you taking that? And he said, because I don't know what they're going through. And then it come into the song. But you know, you got to start realizing maybe they are having a bad day too. What's this say, Henry?
Oh my God. I write music through a lot of things, especially lately, or get fresh air. Well, I relate to that heavily, Danny. Both of those things. The thing with the car, Kimberly, I had the opposite experience. I was in Marysville, and this woman pulled up next to me at the light, and she was in tears with pouring down her face. Her face was all red. Like, she was heavy crying, ugly crying. And I'm like, hey, hey. And she looked over. I'm like, it's okay. I love you. And I've never seen, like, someone switched a light on. Like, I probably mentioned that before, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just sometimes. But I just absolutely love that interaction. This is the total opposite of what you just mentioned.
No,
But
not
would love.
really. Because the
No,
guy,
not really.
no, because the guy was yelling at the other guy saying, go, let's go, asshole. The light's green. Why are you still sitting there? And he just waved and smiled at him.
Right. Well, it's
And the
Pat,
lady in the back said, you know, why are you being so nice? Did you hear what he just called you? You going to take that? And he was like,
Yeah.
he's obviously having a worse day than I am.
Yeah, you really don't want to tangle with that.
And you never know what they're dealing with at that time. You never know. I had people pull a gun out on me. I've stayed in Detroit and Flint and Buffalo, New York, and stuff like that. And sometimes people just aren't wrapped right. They're just not wrapped right. And you never know what they're dealing with. And I've had someone pull a gun out on me because I parked too close to their car. And not too close to their car that their door, they couldn't get in and out the car, and that my door would hit their car. Too close to their car when there was an empty parking lot. I could have went over a parking spot or two. They were probably doing something I didn't want to have no business with anyhow, honestly.
Oh yeah. You don't want to fuck around when the force multiplier
But they
comes
were
out
like,
either.
why are you parking that close? There's a whole empty parking lot here. And I was just going into the store. But at the end of the time, when the gun came out, I decided, you know what, I can go to a whole nother store. At this point, I don't even need to go to this one. So see you later in your parking lot.
Yeah. You know what? I forgot my wallet at home.
Whatever you're dealing with is way worse than me going to the store. But I mean, I get it though. I get it sometimes, but then I don't get it. I remember when I was having my moments of doing whatever I wanted in a whole parking lot. I would go down by the Vida or the Desmond Landing. I'd go to Desmond Landing and go all the way to the back of Desmond Landing when you can't go no further. You know what I'm talking about? All the way down there where they take and spin up all the stuff, because you used to be able to go out that way, but they closed it off. And I would go all the way down there, and why would someone park right next to me? You know how big Desmond Landing is.
Oh yeah. No, it's like, oh, this doesn't apply to you, but it's like hopping on the urinal and then someone comes up next to you at the urinal and there's 12 other urinals. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that's a weird thing to happen, Kimberly. Let me tell you.
I get it completely, but that's exactly how it is sometimes. You know, I'm not thinking there's a whole parking lot and maybe they want their space. I'm thinking I'm gonna get closer to the door because I'm going in and out and it's dark and I'm a female. I don't want to be anywhere where there's no lights at the store. So I'm gonna
Correct.
get closest to the door as I can get to get in and out. I'm not thinking of anything else. See, they're thinking there's a whole parking lot. You can park anywhere. You don't have to park next to me. And I'm not mad at them because I have related to that before. There's a whole parking lot. Desmond Landing's long. There's a whole parking lot. You do not have to come up next to me and chill next to me.
You know, I really wanted to make like hair clips and accessories that are emergency whistles, and like hell, you could even have something that wraps your hair up in a cute bun that conceals a can of pepper spray. Because I noticed that they have these things on necklaces and that they get yanked off. The first thing to come off in a fight usually is a necklace. So there goes your escape. But if you're on the ground, especially having a hard time with someone who's really tough and shit, they're not going to be able to pay as much attention as you pulling something out of your hair. That's my thought. Just a thought I had. Really wanted to make those for a while.
Look at Amazon. They have the weirdest things. You can search anything. I promise you.
I did. I actually went and got a bunch of emergency whistles. I'm not going to call them the other thing.
Right.
I want to.
But no, don't. But anyways, I get it. So they have a bunch of things that you could do. Well, yeah, I just think that
like self-defense items.
It's crazy how society got to the point where it is today, though.
There was a period of time where it might have tapered off a little bit, but how far have we come since the Wild West? Because there's a lot of bad shit happening still. Maybe more of it's just sanctioned and not talked about. Who knows? Satire warning.
So I have a whole theory on a lot of things. Kendall come to me and she was talking to me the other day, and she was like, I have a feeling that the world's going to get really, 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 really bad.
Yeah, a lot of people have that feeling.
And I said to her, if you allow it to. And she said, no, I mean something that's out of our control. And I said, still, it's your perception. I have a theory that I'm going to be transitioned to the new way of thinking before that even happens, because I don't see what's going on around me right now. I don't see nothing bad going around me at all, ever. Ever. I get into people's cars I probably shouldn't. Because the universe is protected. Yeah, you were on the phone with me.
I was scared shitless.
And I wasn't. I am protected. I am guided and guarded.
Well, yeah, you're protected. It's a long run. I don't know. I'd catch a semi there towards your general area, and I'd come find you.
I'm just saying.
I'll get my boots on the damn ground for you, Kimberly.
I trust the universe and it provides. So I have faith. But yet, at the end of the day, if you allow yourself to sit in misery and see all the miserable things going around in this world, maybe that's why you're so mad. You want heaven, then you create it for yourself.
The hardest balance there is to balance what is natural and healthy for you with what is expected from society. You're going to have to do a lot of things that you don't feel like you want to do. You don't have to do them, and you don't have to feel good about them. You shouldn't feel bad about them.
You don't have to do anything.
Everyone's going through their life feeling horrible. It seems like, not everyone, but a lot. I met with a lot of people. They're just like, this is crazy. But so many people say their life is meaningless and they feel hollow to me.
Jewsby, what's your output on that?
I think people should find more positive things to consume themselves with. That's the main thing. If you fill your day up with positivity, there's really no room for any type of negative entities to infiltrate what you got going on.
Thanks.
You can't really rely on entertainment all the time. You have to make open yourself up to other avenues. I would say, just be more mindful of what's going on. And carry a different energy about you. Sometimes when you put certain energies out, you'll receive it. So You know, if you keep yourself in a positive light and you know you try and share that with others, you know it'll definitely come back to you eventually.
Facts. I agree completely. I've noticed since I removed a lot of bad things out of my life that my algorithm has changed, and only artists I see now. When they say people you may know, it's all artists, and I say it funky on purpose now because I like it for you. But but now that's all I see. So like your algorithm will change. The universe will put what you put out, you will get in return. That's just the natural frequencies. That's it's so many people's theory. So many
Well,
people's theory. Huh?
did I hear? I may have heard Jusby say earlier that he, along with probably me and a lot of other people, think that the state of the world are concerned for what the future of the state of the world is going to happen, right? Now that's different from letting how that affects you, because I do believe I see Jusby doing a lot of good thing, like he said, with the kids and the music programs, and that's a wonderful way to stay out of it. Maybe not staying out of it. You can still inspire and move children and young people forward with free thought and being happy and artistic and motivated to do that, and that will ultimately help. You know, we don't have to sit there and be Fox News or Alex Jones or CBS or NBS or fuck you too NBC. You know, we don't have to come at each other violently about politics, even though that's what's going to happen, and a lot of things are going to kind of are blowing up like that and have been. We can be the force of change, right? Voice for good.
Well, and not only that though, honestly though, what you really put out, Henry, does come back to you. If you surround yourself or only around positivity, you don't see that stuff. Even if it's right next door to you. Matter only you give it attention.
The universe gives me the universe gives me a lot of really big glaring gifts back. Like I feel like I should have a karma credit card because I rely on it a lot, sadly.
Yeah.
But you know, I try to be that person who doesn't give a shit if I get yelled at. If I hold the door for someone and they yell at me, I don't feel bad about holding the door for them.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them a little bit.
But eventually, once you only recognize positivity, that's all you'll see. Because you won't recognize the other stuff. It be foreign to you. It will be foreign to you naturally. The reason why it's so irrelevant is because we bring awareness to it. That's a lot of things in life.
No, it's true. The awareness. I mean, I do really feel that things have become so inflammatory that I have relegated a lot of what I'm doing on social media and Facebook to one, music, and two, this podcast, and majorly, mostly this podcast is what I've been focusing on. But it's been really hard for me to kind of watch social media. I have kind of been caution, right? Releasing with caution. Well, that caution has now become more commonplace on the way I kind of view and interact with anybody, for that matter. And I haven't had time to focus on myself a little more, and the podcast, and you, and Harry, and things. So
it's great.
It's positive, but it's still there. I'm aware of it. You know, I'm aware there are negative things going on in the world. I guess try to be prepared in an optimistic way.
I am not aware there's negative things going on in the world.
Some would say that's bad. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that's bad.
That's not my problem.
I get it. It's not your problem.
It's not. And however somebody else feels and sees, that's not my problem. Because at the end of the day, it's my life and I'm living mine, not yours. So however
I knew you would say that though.
Yes, of course. Because
Which is why it was a loaded question.
However someone feels on how I feel in life is not my problem. At all. Because the same person that feels some type of way about me saying that would be the same person that feels some type of way about me always being negative. So those people that have an opinion on whether how I see the world and in my eyes are going to have an opinion no matter how I see the world. Me seeing the world does not cause them to have an opinion. I have a lot of people that give me their opinion on social media, and I am not mad by it because they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing, being social on social media. I like others' opinions. If I didn't, I wouldn't host a podcast. And I wouldn't have guests on. I wouldn't have a big panel of hosts if I didn't want to hear somebody else's opinion. I wouldn't be constantly bugging Jewsby and be like, hey, Jewsby, what do you think? If I didn't want to hear his opinion. Because other people's opinions matter. I don't have to take that agreement as my own, but they do matter.
You bug Juice me more. I try to reference him more. You actually call him out.
I don't think I bug him. I don't think I bug him if I bug him.
I was joking. No, I love doing the podcast. I absolutely love hearing opinions, even if they differ from my own. But that's the point of being sentient, is that we can talk about them. We're not just going to follow the answer.
What did she say? And I love this lady so much. I can't wait to meet her.
And the panel of haters, too.
That's true. And you know what? I don't believe in haters. They are family, too. They are family, too. I have family that love me just like they do. So don't worry. They just don't know how to show love correctly. But I'm not mad at them because I love them. I love them from the bottom of my soul. I don't have haters. I have a bunch of people that have an opinion on how I am. And there's nothing wrong with it because I love them.
I live here on Earth, and it's full of weird people. But if someone opened up Mars and said, well, everyone here is pretty level-headed, I'd go. I'd just go in a hot and I'd be like, I'm tired of trying to deal with this. Would it work? Probably not. But, I swim with it. There's a lot of really cool people who make the journey worth living.
It seems mundane lots of times being here. I feel like I just woke up all the time. Like it was just morning and now it's night. It seems mundane constantly. And that's what I'm ready to change. I'm ready for the unmundane.
Yes. You're ready to party. Metaphorically.
Kind of. Yeah. I'm ready to be able to make things change.
Yeah. Who's ready to be celestially reborn, huh? No, freaking me. Lovely Sunshine says, trust me, what you are doing matters. If you grab just one soul, you won. Hate is the strongest form of love, especially when you have done nothing to that person but just be you. Yeah, I'm straight.
Authenticity is my favorite thing. When I was younger, I used to smell people's feet to tell them what they ate all day. And I was so correct. And I don't know why that was a thing of mine. I loved it. I have a little bit of foot fetish. I don't like people's feet, but I like people liking my feet. So, I have this thing where I used to do that all the time. And I would do it just to get someone else's reaction. And I didn't care if they thought it was gross or negative or anything.
Takes a lot to surprise me, Kimberly. Takes a lot. Once in a while, though. That's why you're a special person.
And I am, and I like it. I love being me because there ain't a whole bunch of people out there just like me at all.
That's wild stuff. It's amazing.
I was always the child that was told that I talked too much. It only made sense that I had a podcast. Jewsby, what were you always told when you were younger? I like Jewsby.
I know, call him out.
What was I always told when I was younger?
Yeah.
Maybe that that I was overly active. I was always into things. I would always venture off on my own. I've gotten lost numerous times. I could definitely remember that about myself. Maybe that was just the independence in me, or maybe I was testing my boundaries. But that would be the thing that I heard the most, is that I definitely get into, more things than I should be getting into at that age.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I remember the fun time with my one ex. I would call him up and I'd be like, tell me how to get back. And he said, where are you? You're only supposed to go down to the road of the store and then come back here. And I said, I took a shortcut. He's like, there is no shortcut. What do you mean? I said, I took the back road. He said, this is the back road. There is no other back road. What are you doing? And this is up north where they have 2 tracks. I don't know if anybody knows familiar with what a 2 track is, but it's just really what it is. 2 tracks down a dirt road. Only 2. And I was like, well, I'm in someone's backyard. Because up there's a lot of oil rigs and whatnot in their oil fields, and you go down there these little 2 tracks, and it ends up in people's yards. And there's Christmas trees everywhere. I call them pine trees, but they call them Christmas trees. But there's pine trees everywhere, and they do pruning and all that other stuff up north. And I was in someone's backyard, and I said, I don't know how to get out. And they were like, well, how'd you get in there? I'm like, I don't know. And they were like, go the way you went to get out. I said, and then what? They said, why did you try another way? And I said, because I thought that this was another way to get where I had to go. I thought a lot of things in life. And I thought that when GPS came around, I would no longer get lost. But then I realized I don't even listen to her. So like... Because a lot of times she don't do what she's supposed to and doesn't make sense. And she tells you to turn places you definitely can't turn at. Like on the expressway when she said turn right, it's still an expressway. You can't literally turn right. Like
what is your GPS voice? Mine's Australian lady. Lovely. Whoa.
That was what? I was gonna take it off anyways.
I didn't see anything.
He was working around the car. But anyway, so
57 Chevy, I bet. No,
I don't know, but I remember here's a funny story about my GPS person. They stopped working. Grandson and I were traveling because we travel all the time. I like just take grandson places. Grandson and I were traveling, and I always get lost. It's just I've always been that way. So because you never really get lost. You can't really get lost. You always end up finding your way out. It's just at the moment you're lost. But anyhow, so I was yelling at the GPS, and I was saying, come on now, taking it out on her. And grandson said to me, she's only one thing, and everybody uses her. You have to give her a break. And I was like, you're right. My bad. So I stopped yelling at her because she really took off. She stopped working for me for a good 45 minutes, and we were stuck on the side of the road, lost, until she decided to start working again. But I had to.
Kimberly, I think we get lost, okay? If you have a point A to point B trip planned out, and you end up somewhere in the Canadian wilderness, turned into bear shit, you got lost.
No, I have ended up Canada before, and I had to turn around at the duty free place because I didn't know.
Too.
But anyhow,
I was hammered at the border.
I was sober. When I get lost, I'm sober. But it's not lost. It's just I travel places that I wasn't supposed to. From Port Huron to Marysville, straight shot, right?
Essentially.
Pretty much. Yeah. I ended up in Detroit on the expressway because I didn't go where you were supposed to go that way. I ended up going that way.
Did you just keep going?
Yeah.
How far into Detroit were you hitting? Like 6, 7?
I was like an hour drive already, and my uncle called me up and said, "Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I was on my way," and he was like, "Do you not? Where are you at now?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I start looking where I'm at, and he's like, "You realize you're in Detroit?" And I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "Do you know that from Port Huron to Marysville is not an hour drive? Did you not realize that nothing looked the same?" I never paid attention. That's how come I shouldn't really be the driver, though, Henry. I just want you to know. Little key, I don't pay attention.
That's fair.
There's a lot going on, and you have to pay attention. I don't really like paying attention.
I know what happens when you don't pay attention. I've gone flying pretty much through a windshield. Big oopsie daisy. You got to pay attention.
I don't like paying attention.
I know. It's hard, isn't it?
It's not hard. I just don't want to do it.
I never minded driving. You know what? My dad actually did something really good for me. Is when I got my license, one of the first things he had me do is drive all the fucking way back from Indiana. It was one of the first big drives I took, and that was pretty cool. That's a good idea. Like do a road trip with your kid almost immediately.
Lovely showtime. So, what do you do for an outlet to be able to release so you don't explode? I love people's brains. I love people's souls. And I love when people love. And I love Lovely Showtime's name.
Yes.
Hi, Lori Ann Hart.
Yay! Hi, Lori. I've been meaning to get at you. It's been an absolute wild.
Lori Ann
doing
Hart.
okay.
That is such a nice name, too. I love things that just sound good when you say it.
She's a lovely sort. Let me tell you.
It sounds like it. Lori Ann Hart.
Shit, I've known her for seven years. Yeah, just about.
She sounds like
Cool shit.
Lori Ann.
Yes, glad to have you. See, we're getting somewhere.
Lori Ann, what do you do? What do you do for an outlet when you get yourself, when you feel like you're overwhelmed? What do you do to release? Finally made it.
Oh, she'll say it. She's got us.
But I like to know what other people do, because I talked my daughter-in-law into writing a journal for me to publish. I talked her into it, and I'm so happy because she's a little insane. And I know a lot of other people that are a little insane too. So I think
me too.
I think people can relate to her for real. And I don't think they like admitting that they are a little insane, because I'm a little insane. That's the only reason why I can recognize it.
I'm a little bit more than a little.
I'm just saying. I have a lot of no fucks to give to a lot of things. Unless it's love.
Well, here we go. She says, I go outside and scream or walk my dirt road barefoot. Missing rocks takes concentration. Yeah, that's sweet. I don't think, actually, I'm like, whoa, you got shoes on. I seen her like once with shoes on.
I don't wear shoes neither. I don't ever wear shoes. I don't wear shoes neither.
She don't mess with shoes. That's fun. Yeah, and the screaming is actually good. I mean, if you don't scream yourself. So screaming, laughing, and swearing, all of that shit, that's releasing endorphins. And endorphins make you feel better.
I called Henry today, and he started hollering at people in the house. And I said, is anybody in the house? He said, no. I said, okay.
Oh, no, I was screaming. I was just screaming, actually, like Lori is doing there. I get angry.
I love it though, because it's not, to me, it's not something that you fear. I love it because that's when you become your true, authentic self. I love seeing you release that way. You play your best music that way.
Yes. I was telling you, like, I love writing music, and it usually takes a lot of, like, something horribly catastrophic for me, too. I'll be in the midst of something terrible, and I'd be like, I need my guitar right now. And it's great. It sucks.
So I want to have... Oh, my niecey Pooh is watching. Hi, niecey Pooh. My niecey Pooh that was at your house after her mom's thing. My niecey Pooh. Remember, she come to your house.
Oh,
Teresa.
Hi.
Hey, Nisi Poo. Love you.
Lori, she also said, I had two nicknames growing up, Ellie Mae and Rubber Feet.
Rubber feet. No, I
I
don't have. I don't have rubber feet. I have very beautiful feet. I have feet friend finder, like feet finder feet. I have beautiful feet, and they're soft too. They're not hard or nothing. And I just don't wear shoes. I don't have rubber feet. That stuff really hurts.
I take, I take pretty good care of my feet. I absolutely love socks. I have to wear
I
socks all
just
the time. I know I've said that
got
before.
out of 3 West, so this
Teresa.
podcast is perfect for me tonight. Aw. Okay, so what are steps that you could probably learn to release? Teresa, you're so gifted and so universal. The universe speaks to you all the time. You have such a beautiful gift. You're going to do something with it once you learn how to channel it and realize how beautiful you are. You got to realize how beautiful you are. And I'm not talking about your face. I'm talking about your soul, baby.
We're so glad to have you.
Yes. I'm so glad to have you in my life, and I wish you were in there more. Always call
Oh,
me when you need someone to talk to. What did Lori say?
oh, Lord. Just the soles are leather. Yeah. You walk around the earth. Walking around the earth. I need to ground myself more. Last couple of years, I take the shoes off. Feels like I'm walking on Mars.
When you can't control anything around you, everything's chaotic. And everybody makes you feel like you are the problem.
I definitely do need to work on that. I got so lost in taking care of everyone else. Now I'm rebuilding me. That's
Yes,
awesome news.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm so proud of her. Yes. And realize you cannot control everything. The only thing you can control is yourself and how you handle things. Everything else, say fuck it. With love, obviously, but in a very positive manner, say fuck it. Because at the end of the day, if you allow it to, it will ruin you. And
I know a lot of people who do that serenity prayer.
you're worth it, baby. You're worth it. People don't realize that, they don't realize their worth. You're still here, you have a purpose. I don't know. I don't. I know people come and go, and it's hard. I can't tell you what it feels like being at your age and losing your mom, and when you were just getting close with her again. I can't relate to that. I can't relate to that. My mom wasn't a mom like your mom was. I can't relate to that. Um, I can relate though. What's this say?
So I learned something with the group therapy while I was there in there that I'm going to practice more. I can take what I can't control and put it in my hands and throw that shit out. Yeah, that's so really.
That's
You
true.
can write it down too. Write it down and burn it or throw it away. Get it, release it to the. There's so many good ways to do that, and it really does conceptualize it. Oh no, Henry is a great listener. He doesn't have an ear, does have an ear for music, and he is an inspiration. Fuck, fuck it is a great answer. Except a bad case can be negative. Lori knows a little bit what she's talking about. I've known her through several. I don't think so. I can't really. I'm saying it. I met her through like Al-Anon programs type things.
The thing is, though, what I was speaking about saying fuck it wasn't not in a way of like fuck this life, fuck it like that. If it can't control you, don't let it, because you can't control it. And in
No,
more ways than one, I was actually speaking to my niece on everything that she's dealing with at this present moment. I can't, when I say you can't use this in everybody's bases, because not everybody's dealing with the same thing. Sometimes you can't say fuck it. Sometimes you really gotta just remove it. You gotta remove yourself from the situation and start over.
that's what I'm always talking about, Kimberly. Like, it's like going through life where you're unbothered. You can't be like, fuck it, like that kind of unbothered. That's not how I roll anyway. I care, but not enough to let it destroy me as much. That's you gotta. You don't have to choose every battle.
You don't have to choose any of them.
No, really, you don't. You're not.
You really honestly don't. You don't. If you're
But I
intending
get it.
and you're fighting the good fight for yourself, none of the other stuff should be a battle. Loving you should not be a battle. And that's what I mean to say fuck it, because fuck
Yeah,
it, you start learning to love you. And that's what I was speaking mostly to my niece on, because it's hard when you don't know how to do it.
yeah. Fuck is a really versatile,
Yeah.
word. It can mean a lot of different things. So you got to
Mhm.
be careful which sector you're in, which area of fuck it.
And to be real with you, in my terms, I really meant physically.
Yeah,
Just saying. It worked for me.
absolutely.
Sometimes you have to start over from scratch, because the shit that God gave you was to help you learn that lesson, to help to learn to the next journey and step in life. That wasn't the stuff that the people in your life wasn't the people that are supposed to be in your life forever. That family that you have that blood tie with is not your family. Wasn't supposed to be your family. They're only there for you to learn that lesson so you can transition to the next step.
Oh, there we go. I have done burn and release ceremony. You can say it, Henry. I'm not that anonymous, lol. You don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. No, I met Lori Ann Hart. I didn't want to say anything about it because we're not supposed to talk about it. It's the first two rules. I met her in AA, and she is one of the people who had a lot of good information for me, and has been one of the most practical and reachable people through that. So I really appreciate that in her. And the laughing. That's good. Keep laughing. Laughing is good. That's what we're talking about here.
If you have a choice, you want to sit around and be miserable and think about how crappy life is for you and how crappy your situation is, in that what you allowed to happen to you in life and the position you're in now. That's your choice. If you want to make a difference and do something to have different, then that's your choice. If you want to laugh and be crazy and act like your life is rainbows and butterflies and everything smells like rainbows and butterflies, that's your choice. I'm rose-colored glasses. Everything's rainbows and butterflies in my life, and that's my choice. That's my choice. I love love, and I show love, and every day I'm going to love love. I choose love. I choose love. Even if you're yelling at me and you're hitting me and you're trying to kill me, promise you, I'm choosing love. I cannot meet it. I won't meet it. I don't know how to. I don't even know where to go to start meeting it. I'm not the one. That's my opinion.
Oh.
So, Jewsby, say something very, very educational.
Um,
Don't put him on the spot or anything, please.
an apple a day keeps the doctor away, I guess.
Bears are marsupials. No, no, that's I like that. That's true. Eat apples. That's right. Juice still drops some truth bombs. Apples are really good for you.
Yeah. Eat clean for sure.
A lot of times, though, the reason why you feel like shit is because of what you're eating. Seriously. Stop eating all that dead carcass and all that other stuff, and maybe you wouldn't feel like death inside of you.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast too. Whoa. But yeah, fresh fruit goes a long way in veggies.
The apple a day does keep the doctor away. As long as you
I
clean
like
your baking
Granny
soda.
Smiths. What's your favorite apples, listeners? I like Granny Smiths and Fuji's.
I like all of them. I like Red Delicious,
They're
Fuji's, Granny Smith. I even like a sour apple every now and then. A crab apple.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're dope. Yard apples are really good.
Real good.
A lot of summers with yard apples. Eat
All
them,
right.
throw them at phone.
I'm gonna wrap this up. How do you want to do it, Henry?
Oh, it's been a pretty long day. You want me to? You always want me to jam out.
I know. Oh my god.
I can jam for you.
Okay.
Especially we didn't go there last night. I need to grab my guitar. I got a song that might be applicable. I know you've heard
Okay. Jusby, do you ever do any freestyle?
I freestyle like when I write and everything like that. I don't normally,
Okay. I'm just trying to think of another way I could put you in an uncomfortable situation.
That's funny but mean.
No, I'm not even playing. I'm not being serious. Because he's got a lot to say. He just doesn't say it because he's so respectful. I just want to let him know that I want people to hear what he has to say because he does pass a lot of knowledge.
Oh, she's always welcome to fully join. I do like it that he pops in and says the things he says, but get
What's
on the
that
panel.
saying? What's that saying?
The apples on my tree are the best, but Honeycrisp, yum.
Oh yeah.
Apple song.
Yeah.
I'll have to write an apple song. I wrote one about pancakes, right?
I love that pancake song.
Pancakes at midnight. Everyone likes this nonsense, though.
I know.
I got a better song about like mental problems I was going through. This shoulder. This is a fun one. I wanna do the thing, but don't wanna do the thing. I've marked the line between pleasure and suffering. Even my higher power thinks I'm getting soft, and when I face plant at the bottom, that's when they get their rocks off. Your angel's getting stoned and you're out here all alone, and you feel them looking at you saying, go sell your halo. Your angel's sitting on your shoulder getting high, and the devil on the other one's looking like a nice guy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is not the way. Synthetic consciousness, an antidote for stress. The hero's journey always ends in ego death. A divine comedy from cradle to the grave. Oh, I wonder if Socrates ever felt this too brave. Your angel's getting stoned and you're out here all alone. And you see them looking at you, selling ghosts, sell you low. Your angel's sitting on the shoulder, getting high. It's the devil on the other one, looking like a nice guy. Oh, there's another way. Yeah, that's that one.
Yay! Yay!
I was probably stressed when I wrote it.
When we go to the event, you have to take your guitar with you, even though we're supposed to go live for the podcast, because you never know.
Kimberly, if I had to jump out of a helicopter, I would take my guitar with me. It doesn't matter. It goes everywhere.
Good. You never know.
People don't ever want to know the answer to my questions. Everything fucking begins and ends with that, pretty much for me. I'm very serious about music. Oh, thank you, Lori. Yeah.
Alrighty then. So I appreciate everybody tuning in and chopping it up with us. Much love and respect. Your opinion matters. And tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Thursday. Thursday we have we got another show, a beautiful show coming on Thursday. Helping artists before they sign a 360 deal.
Yeah.
What you should and shouldn't do, the do's and don'ts. Because we have an artist that did it and had to start all over and create from everything from scratch because they didn't know what they were signing before they signed it. So all artists, please tune in for that and check that out. And then we have tomorrow on Twisted Radio, we have Evan coming on. And then we have Saturday, we got SGF Graham coming on. And then we got one more week. And then we're going into or is this our last week? When is the 29th? One more week, and then we're going to the Creative Plug. Next week is the Creative Plug?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep, 29th.
Yeah. So next Friday, we'll be at the Creative Plug at the Detroit Shipping Co. 474 Peterborough, Detroit, Michigan. Juicy will be there. Henry will be there. I'll be there. Juicy's performing. We're gonna be live. There's like over 50 or 60 artists supposedly gonna show up. Let's pray they all do. It's gonna be a great turnout. All ages are welcome. It's from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities to advance your business, to be able to network and to grow. And that's what it's about. Networking and grow. Come on out and enjoy the vibe. It's going to be amazing. Lovely Showtime's putting on with Lakes. There'll be a lot of dope artists there. It's going to be a whole vibe. Anyways, do you have anything you want to shout out real quick before we wrap it up, Henry?
Probably a ton of stuff that I'm really reaching for and can't remember because I'm just burned out like crazy. But I do have a movie coming out soon. It's in editing. It's called Lilith, a Jay Crimson film. It's going to be really exciting to see a lot of Henry. And I'm going to wait until it's more released. But that is, keep an eye out for that. My buddy Jay Crimson. I have an album coming out. When? I'm not sure yet. It's in production, and I'm doing the whole band on it. So I want my bass and guitars and shit to sound right, and so does my producer. So as soon as I have my little EP out, I'll be announcing that. Kimberly said where we're going to be at. Anyway, I don't know. Don't blow up out there. Don't climb the walls. Draw on them if you have to, but don't climb them.
Right. Juicy, you want to shoot anything out? Shout anything out?
Shout out to Lakes. Shout out to Lovely Showtime, Creator Plug, November 29th, 474 Peterborough. Please show up.
Yes.
Very nice event on the way, for sure.
For sure. And then Jusby's got a book. We've been talking about that. He'll be dropping a children's book here shortly. So
Yeah.
So everybody pay attention, because we only surround ourselves around those that are growing. We can't mirror you if you ain't going nowhere. So may your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. If you can control it, control you. That's it. Everything else, let it go. May your night be full of what you want. Peace and love. Peace and love. What does she say on her way out?
I'll spread the word to Detroit dwellers. Thank you, Lori. You the MVP. She's a goat. What am I talking about?
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.